Like a lot of people think racing motocross seems easier than racing supercross, but I always grew up kind of doing the indoor stuff, and that feels safer to me because you're not going 80, 70 mile an hour or whatever. And there was times he was going like 4 seconds a lap faster than everybody in the field. That's never going to happen ever again. Now, if somebody qualifies like a half a second a lap faster than the rest of the field, that's like huge.
Logan Karnow is a professional supercross racer and a social media personality. He is a privateer and is an Onlyfans athlete.
He did not take the usual path to becoming a pro, but he has made it work and is one of the nicest guys you will meet.
If all of you guys had the same support, I'm not saying that you'd be winning necessarily, but you'd be a hell of a lot closer.
The factory bikes are pretty good. You watch them like case some jumps out there and you're like, dude, if that was me that cased that jump, I would have died.
What actually was the injury?
I just broke my fib and they just plated that. That was easy. They just put me in a soft cast. Pretty gross because I kind of like took the soft cast off one day. It had zero anything holding it straight.
How did that go down, like when you first announced you were going to ride for OnlyFans?
I kind of got a lot of hate because I was the first one to kind of do it. OnlyFans is the sickest company in the world.
There would be a lot less crashes if they weren't whoops, which could make the sport quite a bit safer. Where's all the money going?
You have a great point there. They're making a lot of fucking money.
But first, guys, I need to ask you a huge favor to please like and subscribe. And if you're feeling generous, drop a comment. This makes such a huge difference to the YouTube algorithm. And at this stage, we need all the help we can get because the bigger the podcast gets, the bigger the guests. Back to this episode. I don't know if you heard, probably, well, certainly everyone in the mountain bike world heard, but like, I don't know, it was on a podcast. I can't remember. Was it on maybe like Gypsy Tales that Ken Roxon said that he wants to like make a transition over to downhill or maybe at a certain point in the next couple of years. So did you hear that or not?
That's great. No, I never heard that. That's crazy though. Like, dude, even those little hills we went down, well, big to me, little to you probably, was just insane. Like, honestly, dude, I look at some of the stuff you do, like going down these like rock gardens and stuff like that, going like, I don't even know, 30 mile an hour or something like that. It's ridiculous. Like, how do you think that's fun? That looks so terrifying.
Well, yeah, I guess we could ask the same question about like being in the gate with like 40 dudes about to go like full throttle and only one guy's gonna get there first.
That is true. I guess just when you grow up doing stuff, it just becomes natural.
Yeah, it's kind of like everything that you're not used to is for someone else. It's pretty crazy. Like if I look at like a big wave surfer or something, I'm like, dude, these guys are nuts. Like, or whatever skiers that are, or snowboarders that are doing crazy stuff. Like, and they look at what we do, or they look at what you do, and they're like, what the hell? So I think it's just like, you know, or what about like American football or something? Like I can't like running at a freaking linebacker. Like, like I would not want to be doing that. So yeah, I guess it's kind of like trained into you.
It's like this, like a lot of people like think racing motocross seems easier than racing supercross, but I always grew up kind of doing the indoor stuff, and that feels safer to me because you're not going fourth gear wide open. You're not going 80, 70 mile an hour or whatever. But more people think kind of the jumps and the whoops and all that stuff are sketchy, but I feel like safer on that stuff than going like third, fourth wide open on a 450. It's just so different how people, kind of grow up.
To be honest, I mean, just from the outside, like from what I've done, like obviously Supercross is maybe a little bit more relatable to like BMX as opposed to like outdoors, which is just like, I don't know, like it's weird because like you see so many guys get injured in Supercross, but I think if someone like put a gun to my head and was like, you need to do one or the other, maybe I'd pick Supercross. Obviously, like you need to get into it because it's a whole new skill in itself to learn. But it seems more fun, like because it's kind of like the tracks are more prepped. Like obviously they get pretty gnarly on race day, but like a Supercross track seems it's not like you're on the rev limiter the whole time unless you're Tomac maybe.
But yeah, I agree, dude. I think the BMX thing definitely helps with the Supercross with just like little stuff, just like, I don't know, like just like manualing a tabletop, like if say you need to, or just, I don't know, just a bunch of like little techie stuff. I do notice like the BMX background does help a lot. There's a few other guys that used to ride BMX a lot too. Like I actually just went golfing with Jeremy McGrath uh, like 2 weeks ago now, and we were talking about that a lot. He used to race BMX, and blames says a lot of his success came from that.
Yeah, I remember. I mean, obviously Jeremy was a little bit before my time, but I do remember in interviews and stuff, he said he had a BMX background, which helped him a lot, like, you know, to flow and keep that speed. And honestly, I think that's for whether it's for mountain biking or for moto, I think it's a huge help, especially when you're a young kid. That's where you kind of learn the basics of like how to flow and how to be
Mm-hmm.
smooth, because like BMXs don't have suspension, so like you can't be coming up short with stuff. Like, it's not going to be fun.
Shit hurts. I feel like riding BMX, I felt like was harder on my body than riding moto. Obviously, unless you had like a big crash or something. But yeah, the no suspension thing. I mean, you hit like a big like box jump or something. You case that thing a little bit, like you feel it.
Yeah, and it's insane when you watch like street BMX or whatever, and these guys are like doing massive threes or whatever down like 2 stair sets and to flat, like no suspension. And just like, that cannot be good for you.
No, I couldn't agree more. Yeah, those guys are nuts.
I think that, to me, the BMXs are even gnarlier than the skateboarders, because like skateboarding, it's much easier to bail out of something, and you don't have like a bike between your legs. But like when you're watching the BMX dudes, I'm just like, when it goes wrong, like, and most of the time they don't wear helmets either, which is just like, I don't know, to me dumb, but yeah, I guess it's like not cool to wear a helmet. But it's funny when you're young, then it's always like, yeah, like want to be like cool and like don't want to wear protection or whatever, and then you have a few big crashes and you're like, yeah, okay, maybe I'll wear some protection.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to have it on. That's for damn sure.
But yeah, I just thought that was super interesting when I heard the Gypsy Tales interview with about Ken, and then he was like, yeah, maybe I'll come to downhill, and I was like, that'll be, I'd love to see that, to be honest. Like, I mean,
It's a bold move.
I don't know how you do. Like, I haven't seen him on a mountain bike really. I know that he does ride, but still, that would be pretty sick. Like, if someone did that.
Yeah, for sure. That would be sick. He's a legend.
It's yeah. I think the two sports complement each other really well. But I don't know. Is there like I think a lot of the downhill guys follow the motocross scene, but I'm not sure as much in, the opposite way around.
I don't ever really watch the downhill stuff that much. I'm more, like I said, I grew up doing BMX, so if I want to like watch the beat like bicycles, I always like watching like the park stuff and dirt jumps and stuff like that. But I feel like the downhill stuff is more like related to like motocross, like rough tracks, and I don't know, just a little different.
Yeah, well, rough tracks. I mean, I saw some of the Supercross rounds this year, and it did not look too fun, to be honest, when it got to the main event.
Dude, there was a couple that were pretty scary. That mud race was the craziest race I've ever raced in my entire life.
Dude, yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, well, that's a good segue. So you just got done with the season. Yeah, how was it for you from your perspective? Yeah, happy, not happy? Yeah, how'd it go?
I would say I'd give it like give her like a C+ overall. I wasn't like super pumped on it. I really wanted to make some main events. I qualified for every race, which that shouldn't be an accomplishment, but I mean, it kind of was based off kind of how last year went. I got injured at the first race last year, obviously, and wasn't able to race at all. So I lost a lot of racing time that my competitors got. So that's always going to put you a little bit behind the 8 ball. But I don't know. I think overall, I mean, I was close to a couple main events. I was battling with some guys that I kind of surprised myself that I was able to battle with after not being able to race last year. And yeah, I don't know. Overall, you always want to be a little bit better, I think, but I would have been happy with my season if I could have snuck it into a couple main events. But I mean, those guys that I was beating on the weekends that had qualified for some main events, I would just kind of put myself in shitty spots with the starts. As much as I don't want to say that didn't affect me, that start, it definitely did. At first, I was like, yeah, I'm just going to be a little bit timid. But then I was like, dude, the thing between my ears, dude, kept making me shut off on the throttle a little bit too early, which sucked. I had so many good starts too, but I was just Actually, the last race, I kind of held it out onto the start. And I got pushed right off the track, and there was another pile up. It was like almost like a deja vu. I was like, God damn, the one fucking race that I actually hold it on, I get
Yeah.
pushed off the track. But
Well, I guess it's
it's all good, dude.
it's pretty. I mean, it's quite a. I would imagine it's quite a mental challenge. Like especially like was that's where you got injured last year. You know, off the start. So like you know, I know how that is. Like dealing with injuries, and it's sometimes pretty hard to get over that hurdle.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like it's safer if you get up front though. Like it's just that initial just getting up there because I'm kind of back riding with guys that I'm better than, and they're kind of all over the place. It gets a little hairy. We've almost had a lot of close calls, but yeah, I'm happy though I was able to get through all the races, build off this season, and work my ass off for next year, and hopefully come out swinging.
I mean, like I don't think you should be too disappointed. Like, I mean, it's kind of it's so crazy because people like look at someone like yourself, like you were like, oh man, I really want to make a main or whatever, but you were close. But then, like from the outside, I'm sure you'll get guys that are like, yeah, you know, whatever. Like you look at the top 3 or top 5 or top 10, and then everyone else kind of like they're kind of like talk down to everyone else. But it's like these are the like you guys are the best guys in the world. Like it's like the top guys in the world. So it's like if I came out to a track and watched you without like Tomac there or Sexton, you'd be like, holy shit, like like you can't go faster than this. Like it's not possible, you know, but it's just like the level is so ridiculous. So yeah, I mean, and especially after missing a whole year, like I don't think you should be too bummed at all.
Yeah, that's absolutely you hit the nail on the head right there. Like you watch the slowest guy on a Saturday, but you watch him at his local track, you would think you can't ride a dirt bike any faster than that. And those guys get like shit on. Like, dude, they're also very, very, very good riders. Like I kind of get a lot of hate because I'm a little bit controversial, whatever. But dude, I probably got like 10 messages from people on social media like, "Oh, you can't even make a main event." I'm like, dude, it is so hard to make a main event to be the top 22 guys in the world in the 450 class in the elite class. Like, it's so gnarly. Like, it started getting under my skin. I was like, dude, get your fucking ass out there and do it. Then it's not that easy because in 2023 I had a pretty good year, but there was quite a few guys hurt. There was only like 3 or 4 factory bikes that it ended up in the field towards the end of the races. But like there was some heat races this year that were more stacked than some of the main events that I qualified for 2 years ago. It was insane. Like say like a guy like Justin Starling or a guy like Kevin Moran. Like these guys are legitimately getting like 13th in some of these heat races. Like, and they were getting almost top 10s in 2023 in the main events. Like the year was really tough. Even though some guys did go out, like the Lawrence brothers and a couple other guys, man, was it still tough though. Makes me want to jump back onto the 250 class, which also is not easy, but definitely a little easier than the 450 class.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the 450 class, I mean, so many guys have won races, won championships. Like it's just like people don't understand. Like, and we kind of get the same thing to a degree in the mountain biking side. Like, you got to qualify for the main event on Sunday essentially, and like you could come, I don't know, 40th, 45th, 50th, and it's like when you tell someone outside the sport, you're like, oh, I got 50th at the World Cup or whatever, and they're like, okay, well, like pretty
Yeah,
average,
you must suck, right?
like,
Like,
but it's
what
like
the fuck?
these are the best guys like in the world. Like it's if someone came and watched me ride without the top guys being there, they'd be like, wow, holy shit, like
Yeah.
you can ride. But then you're riding there with the best guys, and of course then you feel like you can't ride a bike because they just do stuff where you just like and I guess it's kind of the same to you for you to a degree. You see
Yeah.
like guys like Jet Lawrence and Sexton and stuff like doing something or doing a rhythm section, and just like what, like yeah, it's like
It is.
yeah. I heard an interview with Carmichael. Might have also been on Gypsy Tales, I'm not sure, and he was saying that like James would do stuff which he was just like he was hoping he wasn't going to do it, but then he did it and he was like, now I have to do it. He's like, shit.
Mm-hmm. And there was some stories I know that he would do something once in practice, hope nobody saw it so he could pull it only in the race. Just an animal.
Do you think, like, who's in your opinion the best Supercross rider of all time.
I mean, it's hard to not go MC. He's got the most championships.
Okay, in terms of raw speed.
Ooh, Stu.
That's, I mean,
Stu for sure, because back when he was racing 125s and stuff, and even in the 250 class, I mean, there was times he was going like 4 seconds lap faster than everybody in the field. That's never going to happen ever again. Now, if somebody qualifies like a half a second a lap faster than the rest of the field, that's like huge. But back then, he was, skimming the whoops like a maniac on a 125, and 4 or 5 seconds a lap faster he was going than people at times, and that's just something that's never going to happen again. So I feel like you got to go Stu.
yeah, and I think like I kind of also wonder like, okay, what's the most exciting to watch? Like, do you want to watch the guy that's winning every race, or do you want to watch the guy that's either going to be absolutely smoking the field or going to have a big crash? Which is pretty much Stu. And I think like, yeah, it's a bit sad in a way, because I feel like he should have won a lot more championships than he did. But at the same time, I was like, well, if he had changed and become like more consistent and whatever, then he wouldn't have been what he is. So I guess like I think it was pretty cool to be able to watch that era.
Yeah, I think at one point when he was racing the 250 class, he had a 100% winning. He won every single race he didn't crash on, and I think that stat went on for like over a year. I'm like, that is insane.
That's wild. Like, yeah. Oh man. And now you watch now, and it's like I kind of wonder. Like, I'd love to see everyone at their best. Like racing each other, because it's like you've always got the different eras, and it's like who's better than who. But
That's a kind of a cool talking point, because me and my buddy have talked about this before. Like the last race that Ricky Carmichael did in 2007 at Jacksonville Supercross, him and James Stewart were absolutely going so fast, and we kind of started like bench racing. Like, how do you think they would do if they lined up right now? But I mean, that's such a hard question to answer, though. I feel like, because the bikes have gotten so much better, the suspension's gotten better, the bikes have gotten faster, the technique has completely evolved. But I don't know, it'd be kind of crazy to see.
man, like if a time machine were possible, I'd love to see that. Like, I also like I remember that race that you're talking about, like, and I'll never forget it, like, because obviously it kind of burned into my memory. Like, it wasn't just RC's last race, but it was a rad race. Like, they went back and forth, and like James won, but it was pretty impressive how close Ricky was. But their technique and everything, they looked nothing like what the guys look like today. Like, everyone kind of, it's gonna sound controversial, but it kind of looks in a way a little bit more boring now. Like, everyone's so clean and like perfect technique and toes on the pegs, and like those guys were just like throttle wide open, like bike going sideways. It was pretty sick to watch.
They all look like Justin Barsha back in the day, I feel like. Now everyone just, looks like a ballet out there. You watch Jet and Hunter and Kenny and even Webb. Like, they're all just so smooth. Like, it's so insane to watch. And I watch them ride. I'm like, dude, it doesn't even look like he's trying. And then I go out there and put my best lap I possibly can down. I'm like fist pumping. I was like, the best lap I could do. And it's like 4.5, 5 seconds slower than Jet, who looks like he's not even trying. I'm like, dude, what the fuck, man?
I know exactly how you feel, because I have the same thing in the downhill.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that.
Run of your life, and you're just like, I cannot go faster. Like, that is the limit of what the bike can handle. Like, I'm gonna blow my hands off if I go faster, and then you come down and you get smoked by like 10 seconds, and you're like what? Like, how?
Guys are just insane.
But I mean, yeah, I think like also the fact that you're a privateer, and I mean, that's another thing. Like, you missed a whole year of racing last year, and never mind the fact that you're a privateer, like going up against all these factory dudes, better bikes, like the support is just insane. Like, so I think like it's always a very skewed sort of perception of how good everyone is. Obviously, the top guys are the top guys for a reason, but then I feel like if all of you guys had the same support, I'm not saying that you'd be winning necessarily, but you'd be a hell of a lot closer,
For sure. Yeah, the factory bikes are pretty good. Like, I mean, you watch them like case some jumps out there, and you're like, dude, if that was me that cased that jump, I would have died. Like, but no, for sure. I mean, the factory guys have their rides for a reason because they were always the best growing up. But I do think being on a factory bike, it would help, but I really don't think it'd be that much difference. Maybe 4 to 5 positions better. I mean, you still got to know how to ride the bike.
But and how much difference you think the rest makes? So like not just the bike, but like the everything around. Having everything prepared for you, meals, like masseuse, trainers, like everything's all done. Like
Be a little prima donna. That'd be nice. Me and my mechanic were always at the race out like Thursday, Friday, setting everything up. We got the fucking nail guns, strapping everything down, and definitely not getting massages and stuff, you know. But it's cool, dude. I'm stoked on the kind of little program that I've been able to build for myself, though. It's pretty cool. Like I don't have to go to like team meetings or team dinners and all this stuff. Just me and the boys and live our best lives. Shout out OnlyFans though. They hook it up. They hook it up pretty good, and couldn't do it without them. That's for damn sure.
on the OnlyFans topic, so how did that? How did that go down? Like when you first announced you were going to ride for OnlyFans back in 23.
I kind of got a lot of hate because I was the first one to kind of do it. To be honest with you. Because I reached out, I did it the right way, dude. I reached out to all the main social media outlets like Racer X and Transworld and Vital MX and everybody. So when I released the news, it was also everywhere else. It was all planned. And yeah, man, reading some of the comments, I was like, damn, dude. All right. People are soft, but hey, man, like OnlyFans is the sickest company in the world. And people need to, the world's changing a little bit. So they need to not be pussies. But yeah, for sure. Definitely got some heat. I mean, I'm sure you have as well, but it's they're so great to us, and I don't know. They just yeah, like I said, they need not be pussies.
But you kind of did it like because you first started working with some creators right before you actually got sponsored by the brand.
2022, I was riding for this guy. He was kind of like a local guy around here. Apparently, it's big money guy, and offered me like a decent salary to ride for him, and he'd pay for everything, pay my mechanic and everything. I was like, oh shit, dude, that's sweet. Actually, I shook the dude's hand literally right next to where I'm sitting right now. This our deal. Yeah, but yeah. So the first few rounds went okay. Like he was kind of doing stuff what he said he was going to, and kind of being a little weird on some other stuff. And after Daytona Supercross in 2022, he sent me a text about this big, basically accusing me of everything under the sun, that I vandalized all of his stuff and I've lied about everything and all this complete bullshit. And yeah, he said he was gonna report the bikes as stolen and all this absolute bullshit, dude. Because I like so pride myself on being a good dude to everybody that I meet. And this dude just, I don't think he had the money to pay me, so he wanted to make it look like he was whatever. Enough about this dude. But yeah, after that happened, the next race, my next biggest sponsor was Namira Pistons at the time, so I put them on my shroud for that weekend. And then a girl named Hannah Ray, she reached out to me after that weekend in Detroit. I was actually able to make the main event, the 450 main event that weekend. So it's kind of like a little Cinderella story. And this dude fucked me over, and I'm starting to do better now. But yeah, she reached out to me, so I ended up getting her handle on my shroud for Indy Supercross, and I ended up winning the LCQ at that one. So even more of a Cinderella story. It was pretty cool. And then after that, she had a lot of success with that, with her OnlyFans, like kind of blowing up because there's a bunch of horny people in this sport, I guess. So she saw her numbers go up like crazy. Um, and then after that, yeah, dude, a bunch of OnlyFans girls kind of started reaching out to me because they saw the success that she had with OnlyFans, and I'd make a little bit of money as well, and it was marketable, whether you like it or not. People were talking about it a lot. And then after that whole season, it ended the season great. A bunch of girls like started helping me out and stuff. So I was like, I didn't really think about reaching out to OnlyFans until like, I don't know, like 3.5 or 4 months before the season. My agent at the time, he's like, well, why don't you just try to reach out to them and see what they do? I'm like, all right. So I just found a basic email from them, and actually had a call with Dylan not long after that, and yeah, it's been amazing for the last 3 years with them.
I don't know which was it. Maybe Pulp MX. You did a podcast not too long after that. Was it Pulp MX?
Yeah, I was on most of the pods. Like I did a Vital pod and
Because
Paul I was
I
on.
can't remember
Yeah.
which one it was, but like that's why I reached out to OnlyFans.
Oh, really?
Was the one of those podcasts where you were on? Honestly, like I didn't really think about it before. I didn't really think about a social media platform like as being a sponsor. Like, I wasn't
Yeah.
sort of aware that was a thing. And then I heard you on the podcast, and obviously everyone was talking about it, and I was like, wow, that's interesting. And then you even said on the podcast, you're like, yeah, I just reached out, I think, to their email address and their Instagram page or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, well, I might as well.
Worth a shot, right?
It worked for you, and yeah, crazy. Here we are.
That's sweet. Did it kind of worked out the same way? I ended up getting like a follow from Dylan, and then he reached out to me direct on over email. And
Yeah,
pretty crazy, man.
It's just it's pretty insane, and it was just pure luck, really. Because I mean, I follow motocross and supercross pretty closely, but I don't listen to every podcast. And I happened to listen to that one, and I didn't know you before that, but I just thought it was like, oh, that's interesting, like OnlyFans and in motocross, like let's have a listen, and then yeah, that's how it all worked out. So
That's sweet. I never knew that, actually. I never knew that's why you actually reached out.
So
cool.
yeah, honestly, if I didn't listen to that podcast, I would have never reached out, and we would not be having this conversation. So
you listened to that podcast, and somehow you ended up in Ohio riding dirt bikes with me.
Yeah, like a year
That's
later,
so crazy.
I don't even know if it was a year, maybe even less than a year. I ended up in Ohio, like riding mountain bikes with you and Moto.
Yeah.
So that was pretty sick.
Yeah, that was right. That track was sick too, wasn't it? Man, they did a good job over there.
I would have liked to have a bit more time, like a week there, just to like ride every day. Would have been pretty sick.
Got you hooked up with a brand new Cowie 250F to ride. Oh yeah, that was awesome.
I will say though that the track was a little bit challenging for me. I'd never ridden a track that had been like plowed like that before.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of something to get used to. The tracks it
was deep.
Yeah, it was really deep. Like,
you had to like stay on the gas.
Like I almost tucked the front a few times because as I like get off the gas, it was just like completely sunk in.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a good time. I'd love to do something again. I keep saying I'm going to come out to a Supercross. Yeah. Hopefully for next season.
Dude, anytime you let me know. I'll hook you up.
There wasn't a Nashville round, or was there a Nashville round this year?
Not this year. They're like rebuilding the stadium.
Okay,
or something.
I actually went to Nashville
that race a
couple weeks ago, and it was sick.
Oh, you did?
It was sick.
Oh, dude, Nashville's a good time.
So yeah, if there's one there again, I'd love to combine that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a fun one. The one year it was pretty cool there. I think it was 2023. It was like a day race too, so the races ended at like 5:30. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we were at Broadway pretty early after that, so it was pretty fun. Broadway's cool, man. I feel like if I lived there, I'd either be an alcoholic or I'd be broke or I'd be both.
I've never actually been to somewhere like that before. It was pretty interesting, like just live bands everywhere, like people. It kind of seemed like I was in a movie, like people wearing cowboy boots and hats, and like I was like, this is a fancy dress party, but it's just like that's the way people dress. It's like wild. Everyone's
so cool there too. Everyone's just like so nice, not stuck up. They're all just there to have a good time.
That was sick, man.
Yeah, seeing Nashville's cool.
I can imagine you like to have a few after parties now and then.
Oh yeah, I think we didn't miss many after parties this year. We missed like 3.
Is it a thing? Like, do the riders party after the race or not really? Because I know like a lot of the top guys like jump on a plane right away and head off, but
it's pretty rare that you see like top guys out. Every once in a while you will. I mean, yeah, I guess I can't really say who was out last weekend, but they may or may not be of age, but but pretty much everybody was out after Salt Lake. I think Monster hosted a thing for Cooper Webb at the bar. They're the big thing we were at. I had a little table there, so yeah, there was a lot of people there. It was pretty cool. It's cool to see like guys that are like that big of a name's just like trying to like let them loose a little bit. I mean, they deserve it, right? They work so hard. Least they can do is fucking go out once a year or
It's
twice a
pretty
year.
crazy. Like, I mean, if you're racing the outdoors as well, like you have no break. Like, I
Nope.
mean, you have 2 weeks, and then it's like, which you're busy training. Like, it's insane. Like, I don't really know how people sustain that.
It's abs. Actually, my uncle stopped at my house this morning and we were talking about that. He's like, dude, that's insane how quick because the nationals start this weekend. They race in about 4 days, so they have 2 weeks off to the day that they have to race outdoors. And man, dude, I get burnt out pretty quick racing Supercross. Like the last few races, I'm like, man, dude, I'm like so tired and just the travel and everything. And to think that these guys got to do 12 more races that are way gnarlier than riding Supercross, and then they have to do the SMX, and then they're gonna race off-season races in like say Paris and wherever else. Like it's just absolutely mind blowing to me that these guys can do all that. It's a lot.
I mean, the mountain bike side, they only have this year they've got a 10 race series, and the last few years it's been like 7 race series, and then of course you'll do some other like European events or sort of continental stuff. So maybe you're doing 12 to 15 races in a year. Maybe some guys will do a few more if you take like the local stuff, but still, like it's way less. It's not even comparable to what the guys are doing, in Supercross and Motocross. I mean, they're having like 30. So you got 17 Supercrosses, 12 outdoors. Then you're doing like SMX, which is another 3, right? That's 32. Like then you've got like off-season races and whatever. Like it's just mental.
Yeah, stay like a Red Bull straight rhythm, and then you got Paris, and then Ossex Open. Like there's a bunch of races that people will go do because they're probably getting paid over 6 figures to go race these races. And then you got World Supercross. They're gonna race some of those as well.
Have you any of the off-season stuff or like World Supercross, like any of that? Has that ever been an option or something you've thought about?
I've been reached out to by a couple of teams to possibly do some of the world stuff, but to be honest, dude, I do really like my few months off that I get to kind of decompress and have fun with my friends and family. And so when I did get that call, we were not ready to go racing. So I had to deny that one. But no, I wouldn't be opposed to possibly hitting a few before my career's over for sure. It'd be cool. Go over like Europe or something and some cool races.
Could tie it in with a trip to Oktoberfest in Munich. Come in with a party.
That'd be fun. Are you close to there?
So I'm in Munich, so
Oh shit.
So I go every year. I mean, not just maybe just one day, but it's pretty cool.
The real Oktoberfest.
The real one, yeah, the real one.
We've gone to some around here. They have some of the fairgrounds and stuff around here. It's cool, but it ain't the real one, I guess. Huh?
It's funny in South Africa where before I moved to Germany, like my friends would say, like, yeah, like you should come and join us at Oktoberfest, like in Cape Town. And I was like, well, they're like, I said to them, well, I've been to the real Oktoberfest, and they're like, wow, this is way better. I'm like, yeah, okay. Dude, they had I think they had over in the first weekend last year, they had over 2 million people.
All just getting tanked.
Like so like yeah, it's just like wild. And it's just like people being carried off on stretchers and alcohol poisoning, and yeah, it's pretty crazy. You've never seen so many people in one spot ever. And I'm not like I'm not the guy to typically go out and get smashed, but it's just like crazy to see. Like, it's just you've never seen such a big party in your life. And like from 10 a.m. or I think it's 10 or 11 a.m. it opens, like till 10 or 11 at night. It's like 12 hours just drinking liter beers. How did this whole thing start? Like, how did you become a Supercross racer? Like, it's not your average 9 to 5.
My both sides of my family raced. I actually had my dad's brother went pro, and my mom's brother went pro, and that's how they met. So I basically came out of the womb on a dirt bike. But yeah, when I was like 3 years old, started riding, and just like I said, I kind of started doing a lot of like the indoor stuff during the winter time here. I think that's kind of why I mesh with SX a little bit
Mhm.
better. But yeah, we kind of just did the amateur nationals and stuff, and honestly, I never did very good, but it was just kind of fun for our family to go do, and um, got on big bikes. Actually, kind of quit riding for a couple years. I always sort of half-ass, sort of always kind of had a bike to ride, but yeah, I didn't really ride a whole lot for a couple years. That's when I kind of picked up BMX. I was
Mhm.
just living at skate parks every single day, and I don't know. And then one day I ended up getting a different bike and kind of started riding with some of the local pros around here, and was actually riding pretty good. And my mom and dad went in on sending me to Club MX for a couple of months, like a big training facility here, and kind of just went from there. I started riding with some good guys and being competitive, and I ended up just like saying F it and turning pro and seeing how it went, and ended up making some night shows my first year racing pro, so I was pretty pumped on that. And then the next year, I ended up making a couple 250 main events, and then I was kind of hooked. It was pretty cool. I still remember that first main event I made in Indianapolis. Like everybody was there. It's kind of a local race to me. That was pretty sweet. And then here we are, about freaking 10 years later, still doing the damn thing.
It's
Yeah,
kind
it's
of a like
crazy.
different different path that a lot of guys take. Like,
Yeah,
you know, you hear the stories of people like sacrificing everything and like living in a motorhome for a couple of years, and it's like kind of make it or break type of thing. And it sounded like you were not even really sure if that's really what you wanted to do for a while, and then sort of something clicked.
yeah. I don't know. I think those couple years off that I had were kind of good for me. Like I said, I was just riding BMX the whole time, and then I started riding again, and I was having so much fun riding. And I literally remember one day I was like, Dad, I want to race Supercross. I was like 16 or 17. He's like, kind of looked at me like I was stupid. And then sure enough, about 7, 8 months later, I made my first night show. So it was kind of cool.
And like, because how old were you when you first kind of gave it like a proper go?
I was 17, like kind of in the preseason getting ready,
Hmm.
and then 18 my first year when I started racing
Okay,
pro.
cool. So I
But
mean,
yeah, I was young.
pretty young.
Now I'm the old man.
How old are you now?
30, man. I
Oh,
got
you
it's
got a
it's
couple
fun.
years on me. I'm 34, so
Oh damn, you are old.
pretty scary. But I look young, so.
Yeah, you do. We both look good.
But it's like it's
We age well.
crazy, like because yeah, I mean, you'll know that as well. I don't know if on the Supercross startlets and stuff they have like the ages of the people, but for us on the mountain biking, you've always got the ages or the years that they're born. And you got like kids born in like 2008, like you know, and I was like, what? Like I was finishing school that year.
Now you got kids at the bars that were born in like what 2003.
It's
I'm like, dude,
it
golly, I see that sign on the wall that says if you were born below this or whatever it is. I was like, that was 2003. I remember when it said my year.
Man, but it's pretty cool though. Like I don't know. In the beginning, I was like, it feels a bit weird, like being the old guy, quote unquote. But because I mean, 30 or 35 is not old, but yeah, in the sports we do, it's like, oh, you getting on a bit, you know. I do feel like that's changing a little bit. If you look at guys, everyone's kind of stretching their careers, which is cool to see. Um, but it's kind of cool when you beat the kids as well, like the younger kids, because you're like you know they're kind of in in terms of like physical performance, like they should be better, but you know I guess the experience and that comes in, so it's pretty cool to still show them who's boss sometimes.
For sure. So you got some little kids that come in with, maybe a little bit too much confidence, and they probably barely even know the names of like myself and some other people.
Hmm.
And yeah, good to kick their butts every once in a while, give them a little reality check.
What?
Because there's also a lot of people that are really good at going fast on like Tuesdays, Wednesdays,
Mhm.
Thursdays at the practice track, and then they get to the race and they clam up. And I feel like I've always kind of been the opposite. I don't go that fast at the practice tracks. Like I said, I'm kind of getting older and stuff. I don't send all the gnarly rhythms and stuff on practice days and send the whoops to die every single lap. There's some people that we ride with that are a little bit crazy, and they beat me out during the week, and then you get on the weekends, and I don't know, a little bit more experience. You kind of know what to expect and get out there and get her done.
What's the secret to whoops? Because it seems from the outside, it's like everyone's just got to grow a set of balls and just go faster. But like, I don't know. Some guys, I mean, if you look, we talked about it earlier, like Stu and stuff. He was so fast through the whoops, and like, there's a few guys. I mean, Jet's fast. Like, so it's like it's possible. Like, but is it just the fact that they're more skilled, or is it just the fact that they're willing to just send it more?
Oh, it's definitely a skill. There's you always used to. Everybody always used to say you got to lean back, get the weight on the back tire. Now it's everything has completely changed. Now you want to stay more centered, so let the bike completely rock under you while you just literally just stay dead nut center. And but there's a lot to it. You got to be on the balls of your feet. You have to be squeezing as hard as you possibly can, or the bike's going to start swapping. Like hitting whoops, if you're a good level rider, is not that. I don't want to make it sound the wrong way, but it's not that difficult to hit a fresh set of whoops. What's hard to hit is when we go out in 450B practice and there's ruts in the whoops this big and you're trying to skim across them and you almost die every lap. That's what's scary about hitting whoops. Fresh whoops usually are not that bad, but when they get tore up, which is stuff you don't really see on TV, they get pretty scary.
It's kind of like a love-hate relationship, because on the one side, I think for like the viewers and stuff, whoops are pretty exciting to have in a race, and they make for a lot of passing opportunities and stuff. But at the same time, I feel like there would be a lot less crashes if they weren't whoops, which could make the sport quite a bit safer.
Yeah, but that's really the only thing that I feel like really separates guys. Like, at a race that, say, Sexton and Webb are at, Sexton's gonna have a huge advantage on Webb that weekend if the whoops are big. So it's kind of a give or take. If you're good at whoops, you want them. If you don't, you don't. But like say like a dude like Justin Cooper, he's very good at jumping whoops. But if he's got a gnarly set of whoops, he's definitely gonna struggle that weekend. So I don't know. I think it's good that they have whoops because it's in my opinion, the biggest thing to separate people. Because at that level, everyone's jumping the same rhythm sections. Like that's the one thing that'll get you.
It's the one thing that I felt like, yeah, it's maybe changed a little bit from the era of like Stu and stuff. And like at that time, he would be doing stuff that no one else would be doing sometimes. And even like when his last year, I think there was one race like Toronto, maybe 2014, where he came from like way back and part. I mean, everyone's seen that video. And he like passes.
That was like my third Supercross I ever did. I was there.
Crazy. And like I feel like that doesn't really happen. Like guys, everyone's doing the same stuff now, and I'm wondering like, is everyone just better, or the bike's just better, or is there just not that guy that's willing to risk that much on a regular basis?
Yeah, I don't know. That was an iconic ride. Everyone talks about that ride. Probably to him, that's probably one of the races they bring up the most because I think he went from like what 14th or something to first. But he was also hitting like 3 different rhythms nobody else was. So I don't know. I just think riders have gotten better, bikes have gotten better. I don't know. That's a good question. But
who do you think's the out of the current crop of riders, who do you think is like, in your opinion, the best guy? Like on if everyone's healthy and everyone's everything's fair, like speed wise.
oh man, I feel like it's hard not to pick Jet. I mean, he went 24-0 in the outdoors, and he's been the best guy in Supercross every year that he's raced, that he's been healthy. Well, it's hard, man. He's pretty good. He's got it figured out. But I mean, Chase is good, Eli's good, Webb's good. Like, but I think Jet has that. I think they're all worried about Jet the most.
From a rider's perspective, like what makes him so good? Like, because I mean, I don't think some guys are just like, okay, he's just sending it more, whatever, getting wild. But when you watch him, it kind of looks like, I don't want to say easy, but
I think he's really good at carrying a lot of roll speed, and he's really good at pushing through the rhythms. Sexton is really good at pushing through the rhythms too. I think that's kind of where he gets him. He's also very good in the whoops. He's good at everything, man. He's, in my opinion, probably the best rider on the planet right now.
So you think better than the GP guys as well?
Yes.
Crazy, interesting. And on that note, like,
overall, all around Supercross, motocross. Obviously, they don't ride a whole lot of Supercross, but I mean, at the Nations every year. He's
Yeah.
best guy.
Like something like MXGP versus what you guys are doing, like Supercross, motocross mix. Like, what do you think is? Yeah, I mean, you've said now you think Jet's the best, but like overall, what do you think's like a more difficult kind of series to be in, or to be in the American side, doing both series, or just focusing on the motocross series in Europe? Because like I feel like it's always this debate of like who's better, Americans or the rest of the world kind of thing.
The GP guys are really good though. I think if the top GP guys came here, it'd be close. They'd definitely give our guys a run for their money. Everybody, I think. But I think overall, I would say I think Jet's the best rider. But I mean, you throw Roman Fevre over here, you put Geyser over here, Hurling's over here. I mean, you saw Hurling's. Well, I don't know if you remember, but he came over here the one race and went from last to first. Kind of made us look silly. But he's had a bunch of injuries. But at one point, he was definitely the best guy. But injuries are a thing.
Speaking of injuries, your ankle last year, or foot, ankle, I don't know. What actually was the injury? It was dislocated, right? Your foot.
Yeah. Bone wise, I only broke my fib. Is that the small one? Yeah, I just broke my fib and he just plated that. That was easy. If that was the only injury, I would have been back super fast. But with it dislocating, it tore basically every single ligament that was in my ankle. So after they put it back in, kind of after it happened, they just put me in a soft cast. It's pretty gross because I kind of like took the soft cast off one day and it kind of just like wanted to just fall right back out of place because it had zero anything holding it straight. It was crazy though. I mean, can't say I've ever looked down and seen my ankle pointed almost 180 degrees, but it was weird. I stayed so calm. Like I'm just sitting there like, guess that's my season. Like I kind of thought I was gonna get like a little weird, like pass out or something, but I didn't at all. What I was the most scared about, if I knew it was just a dislocated ankle, I don't think I'd be as scared, but I was a little bit scared because I thought for sure there was bone sticking out. When you look down and you see your ankle completely the wrong way, you're like, there's definitely compound fractures down there or something. That's what I thought. And then they started cutting my boot off and they're like, well, we don't see anything on your leg. I'm like, all right, well, that's good. They ended up getting, oh, dude. And another story. I'm in the Alpine Stars medics rig. That's what it's called. Apparently, the lady didn't know Alpine Stars had booties in them. So she's trying to take my boot off. I have like a pillow over my face. I'm just holding it over my face just because I don't really want to see bone sticking out if there was. Yeah, she's like trying to get my fucking boot off and doesn't realize there's a booty on there. I think I ended up like looking over there. I'm like, dude, it's the booty. Take the booty off with it. So yeah, that didn't feel very good. But then once she actually got it off, the main doctor, he was like, yeah, I think it's just a dislocated ankle. I'm like, oh, sweet. And then he popped it back in, put a soft cast on it, and I cruised home. Went back to the hotel. My buddy went to the store, got some beers. We had some gals back to the hotel, and I had some fun. I wasn't even in that much pain actually. All I said, I was like, "Dude, just give me a beer. I just need a beer."
That's so crazy. Like only a professional Supercross racer would just be like, "Oh, it's only a dislocated ankle. Oh, that's all good." Like that's sweet.
And once they put it back in, we're good.
Crazy. So
But
it
no,
wasn't.
that thing was just hanging on by literally nothing. They could have put it right back out of place if you wanted to, if it wasn't in the soft cast. It was kind of weird. And then I ended up having like some issues with my insurance and everything. So it ended up being like 11 days or something that I had to sit like that before I could even get surgery. It was funny. Like I had a merch drop I was supposed to do that Monday, and we did everything. My mechanic helped me out. I was just in bed, like placing all the orders the day after, or 2 days after it happened, but it was pretty cool. I think I got a lot of like sorrow orders, which
Yeah.
was fine.
You're like sweet. Every time
Yeah,
you
that's fun.
make some more money, you just got to get injured and people people start buying some shit.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's surgery went good and everything. I slacked on PT a little bit, so things definitely not very good. Like I don't even know if I could ride like a BMX bike still. I can't run.
Really?
Freaking sucks. Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, shit happens, dude. It could be a lot worse. I always try to
yeah.
always
I
be
mean,
worse, that's for sure. We had some people
injuries
get very
are,
hurt in our
yeah.
sport this year.
It's always. I feel like it's just so much about luck. Like, you know,
It
just
is.
like this. If you think about, I'm sure for you as well. You think about like how many crashes you've had over the years. And like I've had some massive crashes and I've been totally fine. Like get up, like you're like, wow. Like they were like trees and rocks and stuff, and I missed everything. Like, and I'm like, I landed in like a nice soft patch of leaves or whatever. And there's another time where you just have a tip over and something breaks, and so
Yep, 100%. All my worst injuries came from like the stupidest little crashes.
I mean, even that one, like, I mean, you crashed in a first turn crash, like it wasn't.
I didn't even fall. I just kind of got pushed off the track.
Wait, you didn't?
It's
You
weird.
didn't actually crash. You were still on the bike.
Well, I got pushed off and then it just pushed me into a tough block. I think I just like rolled my front tire over the tough
Mhm.
block and I kind of just like slowly just tipped over. But
What did your foot hook on? Like, what actually caused it to spin around?
yeah, so there was like a first turn pileup. I think it was like Hunter Lawrence went to cut over and it pushed everybody else straight as I was already going this way. So kind of weird. So I just saw everyone going that way. So I just immediately dart that way. And somebody else was already coming at me and ran right into the side of me. And that's what did it. He ran into me and his front wheel was like pushing on my leg. I have a zoomed in video of it. It's pretty gross. You can see it legitimately pop. Yeah. But it fucked him up too. He like in the video that I posted of the actual thing happening, you could see he was like calling the medics over as soon as he saw it. He's like, "Come over here, help him." And then after the race, after I got it put back in, I went over to him and he almost like started crying. I was like, "Dude, it's absolutely not your fault at all." But I think it fucked him up a little bit. He's a good dude. It was just completely a racing thing, but
What was your first thought? What was the first thing that popped in your head when you like look down and then you see your foot pointing the wrong way?
it felt like a dream because I had such a good preseason and everything, and I didn't even know it was out of place until I went to put my foot down to get back on my bike because I didn't even know. And yeah, as soon as I ended up looking after I put it on the ground, I was like, "Whoa, something feels weird." And then I looked, I was like, "Whoa, that's definitely not good." So then I just kind of put my head up and I remember like looking around the stadium, like thinking it like wasn't real. When you work your butt off for 3.5 months preseason for something so stupid to put you out for a year.
One positive from it, the video went viral and got you a lot of new followers on Instagram.
Oh yeah, we probably gained, I don't even know, 15,000 followers or something off that, like a lot. And then the videos after I got hurt, like with the surgery and all that stuff, all those blew up too. So
That's wild. It's
I guess
interesting
the
that
only positive.
yeah, it's interesting that you said that it wasn't that painful either.
It just felt tight. It just felt like somebody was like squeezing it,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like I wasn't like crying due to pain, like at all. I did tear up a little bit because I was like, "Fuck, dude, like this
Mm.
sucks."
It's interesting how like it's almost, I guess it's the body's reaction like to when something really bad goes wrong. Like the body's pretty good at yeah, making sure that you can kind of like survive to get help kind of thing maybe in the wild. But I know when I broke my hip and femur, like a lot of people assume that like that's the most pain that you could ever experience, but like at least some people maybe yes, but in my case like it wasn't that bad like at the time, like obviously afterwards, but like at the time it's just kind of like you in shock. And so like now if I have a crash or something, if you feel something like not painful but like weird, that's when I get the most nervous because I'm like, oh, like why is my I don't know why is my elbow numb or whatever, you know, like why can I not feel it? Like that's almost like more,
I know exactly what you mean.
yeah. I mean, like banging if you walk past the table and like smack your shin on the table or something, like that's more painful than than having that.
100%. You stub your toe on the fucking end of a table or something. Yeah, I'm about to tear up from that, but my ankle can be fully dislocated, but I'm good.
On
That's
a
funny.
Yeah, I guess on a similar topic, like, do you know? I mean, I'm sure you must know him, but are you friends with Jerry Robin?
Yes.
Uh, how's he doing since the injury?
As far as I know, I don't think anything has changed yet,
Mm-hmm.
but he seems to be pretty positive. Like we're all in a group chat together. We're all in like this big group chat with like all the privateers and Jerry's in it, obviously, and he seems to be as positive as he can. But man, that one fucked us all up because we're all friends with him. And Justin Starling, who's a good friend of his,
Mm-hmm.
actually stopped on the track and was the first person to him when Jerry was saying that he couldn't feel his legs, which is the scariest feeling in the or the scariest, you know, everything or I don't even know, bro. That's just something you don't want to think about, but it's hard not to.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's obviously things that happen, like, I mean, in our sport as well, and it's just like it seems from the outside, it seems like surreal, like because it's just like, you know, like that won't happen. You know, it's like what's the chances kind of thing. But like when it happens to someone, especially like close to you, it's like, yeah, you can't. It's crazy. Like you can't sort of wrap your head around it. Like, and even like I could just. I mean, I don't know him personally, but like I've known other people that it's happened to, and it's just like, yeah. Um,
You definitely
you kind of like
start
wonder
thinking
then.
about that more.
I don't know. Has it ever crossed your mind like the risk versus reward, like for the sport?
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely starting to think about that more. I think that's why I'm a little bit more timid and stuff now because I mean, the older you get, I'm sure you're the same way. The older you get, the more you start thinking about, the rest of your life is me jumping this triple in this rhythm section that's scary as fuck really worth me getting injured over possibly. I don't know. It's not a great mindset to have, dude, but I feel like the older you get, it's hard not to start thinking about stuff a little bit differently than you did when you were 20, you know?
It's but I think like you don't really think about life after racing and kind of family and, you know, whatever, having kids and all that stuff when you're 20, you know, it's just like YOLO right now, let's go, you know? And yeah, and then
Yeah, I got this quad all day.
I just think, I mean, I think back to myself and like the stupid stuff that I did, like just not even on a bike sometimes, just like dumb stuff, like I don't know, jumping down 20 stairs or something like to prove a point, or you know, like just like
Yeah,
you just think like, what the hell were you thinking? Um,
100%.
but yeah, it's and as hard as injuries are, though, I feel like they also teach you a lot. At least in my case, you know, I've I feel like I'm a much better person now after the injuries than I was before, and my whole perspective on life's changed. So, and I'm guessing that you would have experienced something similar. You kind of like, yeah, when you have something, then you're forced to sit out, and you kind of realize like maybe what's a bit more important in life, and like I love bikes, I love racing, but it's there are other things, you know, that are actually more important when you can't go and shower by yourself or whatever, like, you know. I mean, that you're not thinking about
Yeah,
riding your bike at that moment, you're just thinking about trying to do like daily things, you know.
for sure. But it's also so crazy because usually, I'm sure you're the same way as well. When you do get injured, the first thing you ask the doctor is how long till I can be on the bike again. There's something wrong with us,
I was
man.
gonna say the same thing. There's definitely something wrong with all of us. Like, I just think it's a drug. Like, it's essentially like
Yeah,
riding bikes, whether it's a bicycle, motorbike, whatever. You're looking for that kick. You're looking for adrenaline, and yeah, as crazy as it is, you can't stop. But
How are your nerves on like an event the day of?
well, I've said this before, but like, so I broke both of my hips, but a year apart. And the first time was kind of my femur hip together, and
Was it displaced? Was it looking like jacked up visibly?
no, luckily not. So I hit a tree like side on, like, I don't know, 40 k's an hour, and so it just like pretty much disintegrated basically where the femur bone goes up, and then it makes a turn into the hip joint. Like that, just above the turn is where it broke. It's called the neck of the femur, but because it's so high up, they call it the hip. But essentially, it was the femur that broke. But it's just like in the joint, so it's pretty much the worst way you could break your femur. Because every other break is obviously not nice, but you just put a pin in and it heals. But in my case, that's why I've got a complete new hip on the one side. But I did that in just before we met in end of 22. But yeah, so when I had the first injury, that was my biggest fear. Pretty much my whole life was breaking my femur, and then it happened, and it was in a weird way. I felt like the sense of like more confidence, which is kind of weird because I was just
You're
like,
like that. Maybe the worst thing that's gonna
yeah,
happen.
I was like, other than like dying or brain damage or like getting paralyzed, like I was like, that's pretty much like the worst thing that you can go through. So I was like, sweet, like I'm ready to send
You're
it
like,
now.
hell yeah.
Like, you know,
Isn't that such a fucked up mentality
yeah,
to
it's
have?
like
But I get it though.
yeah, it is because a lot of people I came back like relatively. I mean, I had to spend almost a year off the bike, but when I got back on the bike, like I got up to speed like quickly, and people were pretty surprised. Or someone like my family and stuff was like, "Wow, like you kind of like not. It doesn't seem to have affected you." And honestly, I felt like I felt good. It was really weird. And then I had the second injury, and that was about 3 months after I was back racing again. And that was like the big turning point, because like when that happened, it was kind of like my whole world fell apart, because I knew what I'd just been through and was like almost a year of recovery, and then I knew what was lying ahead again, and I just thought, kind of after the first one, I was like, this is never going to happen again. Like, this is like the worst injury I'm going to have. Like, this is done
You
now.
broke your other hip?
I broke my other one, yeah. But it
God.
was slightly different. Like, so it was dislocated, the other one, and it broke like the capsule, which, even though it was from a joint perspective not as bad, it was worse from a pain perspective. Like, I had a lot more pain with the second one, because I like damaged the nerves and things like that, and I still have issues. Like, I still have like a part of my leg which I can't feel. But that one was kind of where I quit. I was like, I'm done. Like, I sold my bikes, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore, just because again, everyone thinks that it's about the injury and the time, and like obviously that sucks and it's painful and everything, but it's about the whole rebuild. Like, what it's going to take, like how much physio you've got to do and training, and like you just get back, and then it's just like your wall's not like fully built back up, and then you get smacked back down again. And so I have a lot of respect for guys guys like Kenny and stuff that have gone through some crazy stuff, and yourself, like, coming back from bad injuries, because I feel like it's very easy to be confident when you haven't had a bad injury. And guys that can go through an injury and come back and then be confident, that shows me a lot about them and like the mentality. But I feel like now, I don't really think about it like when I'm riding and stuff, but I think about it beforehand. Like, if there's
Me
like
too.
a gnarly jump or gnarly line or whatever, I always think like, okay, like, how confident am I that I can do this? And how much is it going to gain me? Like, and what's the risk versus reward kind of? And instead of just allowing my I don't know, sixth sense to like take over. I'd just like rather make a decision beforehand. It's like, okay, do I want to do this or not? And is it worth it to do it? Because sometimes even if you think like I think I can do this, but then it's like, okay, is this really going to change my life doing this? Like for the positive? And most of the time it's probably no. But it could
Yeah.
mean that, you spend more time in hospital, which is, which is not so much
Not
fun.
fun. I'm 100% with you though. I don't like as soon as the gate drops, I'm not nervous when it comes to getting hurt at all. But it's just like it's like between practices and the night before the race, like you just kind of think about stuff a little bit. But it is so weird though. Yeah, as soon as the gate drops for me, don't even think about it.
But I've kind of always, I guess I've always been like that to a degree. Like I'm quite a thinker, so I overthink things, which is not good always. But like beforehand and stuff, like I hate that. Like for me, I don't know how it is for you going out for practice, but like the first practice or like first practice lap, I hate it. Like hate it because I'm just like, you don't know how the track's gonna feel. You haven't hit all the jumps, like all the features, like, and then you've got everyone like eyes on you, and like, yeah. And as soon as first lap's done, then I'm like, okay, cool. Now I'm chilled, but I hate the first lap.
Yeah, we have 8 minutes to learn the track, so that's 7 or 8 laps, and we have to jump everything in that first session to be ready for qualifying that starts after that 8 minutes. It's
That is
crazy.
mind blowing, and I think that's what people don't realize as well. Like I did hear that somewhere before that you guys get like 8 minutes or something, and why can they not give you more than 8 minutes? Like for me, it's like crazy because that must amp up the risk so much more. Because like you can't. There's no getting used to the track or like feeling things out. It's like go out and and hit everything.
Like you literally have to go out there and hit most of the stuff like second or third lap. Like the Supercross triples, we usually hit those on the first lap. The finish line will hit on the first lap, and then those aren't ever the scary ones. It's the rhythms. It's the triple, 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 triples in the rhythm sections that
Mhm.
are pretty scary. But yeah, it's gnarly. 8 minutes to learn the tracks a little bit scary. Plus, by the time we get out there, we're always in 450B practice, which is the fifth practice, sixth if the Futures kids race. So the track is absolutely hammered, rutted. So learning a track when the track's already hammered just makes it even harder.
How long is qualifying then?
We have an 8 minute free practice, and then we have two 10-minute time qualifyings. So technically, you can jump the jumps whenever you want, but if you want to be competitive and do good, you got to pretty much get the track dialed in free practice.
I mean, I guess it's a little similar in the mountain biking side because, like, you get maybe 5 practice laps, 6 sometimes before.
So 5, 6 runs down the hill.
Yeah, before qualifying. Not always.
Do you like
Sometimes you get
walk
more, but
the track?
yeah. So we'll walk it before, and then you get a practice session on the first day. But it's like realistically, I mean, it's like 3.5 hours, I think. But it takes so long because you've got to. Sometimes the lift takes you like 30 minutes or longer just to get up, and then like because you got to like queue at the bottom, get in the lift. The lift takes ages. Like then you got to get up, often queue at the top. Sometimes there's a rider crash and there's a red flag, and the track's closed. Like so, yeah. Most of the time, I would say, 5, 6, 7 laps of practice, and then you got qualifying.
What's like an average time to get down the mountain? Is it like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, or is it
Yeah,
all
I'd say
different?
like probably between 2.5 and 3.5 minutes. I mean, it can range. The shortest tracks are normally around 2 minutes. Longest ones around 5, maybe just under 5. But nowadays, they're kind of trying to get them all to be similar. I mean, like for the TV coverage, so most of them are kind of around the 3-minute mark, something like that. And the shorter the tracks are, it's also more exciting because times get closer. Because obviously.
And you can probably send it a little harder. I mean, you're pedaling a lot. So, I mean, say a 5 minute track, like fitness obviously has to start playing a role there, huh?
Pedaling is important for sure, but I think the overall conditioning is more important because it's like it's weird because it compared to motocross, it's like it's so much less. You're only doing a few minutes. But I mean, I've done both, and it's just I don't think you could do a 25-minute downhill run like at that pace. Like, it's just not physically possible. Like, I don't think. Maybe someone could, but I still think that in overall, I don't know. I think the fitness level of motocross guys and supercross guys is just unheard of. Like, because I remember, I mean, you get this as well. People are like, oh, yeah, well, why do you have to be fit? You just sit on the bike and twist the throttle.
Brother, we go out there for practice and my heart rate hits 200. Like, these people have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they, and that's why I also don't understand how the top guys can sustain doing a full like supercross and outdoor season, because it's not just that you're competing, but it's like it's so hard on the body, mentally and physically. It's like
It's not even just the Saturdays. It's like we ride usually Tuesday, Wednesday, then we fly Thursday, set everything up on Friday, fly back Sunday. Monday usually kind of just have a rest day. But it's just a lot, dude. Like traveling's a lot. Traveling just takes so much energy out of you, even if you're flying. Like I was lucky enough to fly to most of the races this year, but still, just the time zones and everything. Like, it just fuck your body up, dude.
dude, it's actually so. The most of the top guys, they fly to the race, then fly home for like what, 2 days or 3 days, and then fly to the next race.
Yeah, there's a lot of like day races this year based off the TV package. So most of the West Coast rounds were a little bit earlier. So I think a lot of guys flew out that evening and got home like super, super late Saturday night, saying they were flying back to Florida or something. But and then back at it Monday. These guys, I don't ever ride Mondays, but if they fly out Saturday nights, they can be on the track by Monday. Some guys ride Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, which is just mind blowing to me. Even riding 2 days a week is a lot, saying you have press day and racing on Saturday. And I mean, that's 4 or 5 days a week some of these guys are riding. Like, that is insane.
And that's also, it's always a bit of a weighing up between like how much you want to ride and how much risk you want to have, because like the more you're on the bike, the more risk you have of crashing, and then you're not going to be there on Saturday. But then I guess potentially the more you ride, the better you're going to be, maybe, but not in all cases, I think.
Plus, you need rest.
Yeah.
Like, do I want to ride 3 days a week this week and come into the weekend? Maybe I could find a little something on the bike and maybe give me a couple tenths, or do I want to go into the race day like extremely tired and burnt out? Like, there's a fine line there. I think 2 days a week riding like Tuesday, Wednesday is kind of the ticket, and then race on Saturdays, and then do some like just kind of base heart rate rides, like just some 120 to 135 heart rates, just to kind of flush the muscles out. And
are you doing?
That's kind of the ticket for me.
Is that on the road bike?
Yeah, just road.
And
bikes.
are you doing like between races? Are you doing any gym stuff, or are you doing that all preseason?
Just a little bit, not much. Mostly just preseason stuff. Plus, if you do a lot of gym stuff, it'll tend to give you arm pump. Your arms will be tired. Arms will be tight.
Have you ever struggled with arm pump?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, most people do a little bit, but some guys worse than others. But it's weird. Like, I'll get arm pump more on like practice days than I do on race days, which absolutely makes no sense. Like, if we go out there and do like a 15, 20-minute moto on Supercross, like, I'll get arm pump usually pretty bad on a practice day. But if I make a main event, I usually won't get it. I don't know why. I don't know if I'm just like thinking about getting arm pump, but then I'm at the races, that's the last thing I'm thinking about. It's so weird. I'm like the only person I know that gets arm pump more practicing than racing.
That's a good problem to have.
I guess. I'd rather just never get it, though.
I always
get my butt kicked all
I
week.
used to get it only in the throttle hand. Throttle arm.
Yeah, it's definitely worse than your throttle hand.
It's different because like mountain bikers get arm pump as well, but it's like a little bit different because mountain biking, you're getting it from braking, because you like hanging onto the brake so hard, and you obviously all the weight is on your hands, so you're constantly like pushing on, like doing a push-up kind of thing, whereas moto is kind of you also hanging off the back of the bike because the bike's pulling forward.
Plus, you can squeeze more, I feel like, when you're on a motocross bike. Is that a stupid question to ask? Can you guys like squeeze?
I do sometimes, but I wouldn't say it's like the prettiest thing to do. But it's like I think it's like a habit that I have from motocross. Like sometimes you see photos of like different guys and like got there, like Aaron Gwynn, for example, is one of the top guys from the US, and and he's like full moto style, like or like it looks moto, legs are wide open. And then you'll see like me coming behind. We just shot a video together, and I'm like, my legs are like on the frame, and I'm just like, what the hell? Like, it looks so bad. But yeah, I think it's just like,
Really, that's so crazy because it's the complete opposite in moto. If you see your legs open on a motocross bike, you're like, "Oh, that dude's a goon."
but funny enough, actually, Gwyn was a really good motocross rider as well. So it's interesting. Yeah, but when he's on a mountain bike, he doesn't do that. So,
Huh. Yeah, I've heard that name.
I mean, obviously with like OnlyFans and stuff, you talk about like flying to all the races and stuff. There's 17 rounds, so you're doing 17 flights. Like what does it cost for a privateer to do a season? Like what's the bare minimum, and then what's like a good program?
I'll be completely honest. I've never actually figured out exactly how much it costs. But I pretty much have a lot of stuff covered. I mean, I get bikes at a very good price, and most stuff for my bikes I get for free, which is awesome. Shout out all my sponsors for that one. But flying in hotels is the biggest one, and I pay my mechanic pretty well. And entry fees are $225 every weekend.
Mm.
They we don't stay at shitty hotels, so we stay at like decent hotels. I try to keep it between like $400, $450 for like a 3-day weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that, and then I pay my mechanic pretty well. I mean, I'm spending at least $2,500 a week just in kind of fees and all that crap. But yeah, it's not too bad. Could be worse.
And I mean, what are the like in terms of like prize money and stuff? What can you guys win? Because I know you've got also like contingency money, which I don't fully understand from the manufacturers.
Yeah, so Kawasaki, I think, is the only OEM still that pays for night show bonus. If you make the night show, I think they pay you $300.
Mm-hmm.
So that pretty much that's like basically get your entry fee covered. And then the payout if you get last place in the LCQ, I believe it's $1,250.
Mm-hmm.
And then the better you do in the LCQs, I mean, say you get like a 6th or 7th, I want to say that's like closer to like 1,700.
Mm-hmm.
So then with the Cowie contingency, and then my deal with O'Neill, and you do all right. You pretty much honestly are almost just breaking even.
So if you were making a main, but you had 0 sponsors, like you be able to break even from like prize money, or would it not be enough?
If you get last place in the main, I think it's like 2,200. So it's really not much more. What's crazy too is my buddy Justin Rodbo, he got 4th in the mud race on like a freaking like box stock Honda 250F because he's really good at riding mud. I think he made purse money like $2,900 for a 4th place in a 250 main event. I was like, wow, that's horrible. He got some good bonuses from Honda and his helmet company and all that stuff, so he did good. But just purse money to get a 4th place in a 250 main event, it's
crazy to me that
pretty
there's
pathetic.
not more. I mean, I guess now with like the SMX and stuff, there's a bit more money involved, but I would have thought there'd be a lot more money, like prize money wise. I mean, obviously the guys get money from the sponsors and the teams and all that, but still, like, I mean, and you got how many people are watching a Supercross like live? What, 50,000, 40,000, 50,000?
Oh no, up closer towards 1 million, I think.
No, I mean like actually at the event, like in the stadium.
Oh, yeah. Probably something
So I
close
mean,
to
like
that.
just
I thought you meant TV numbers.
yeah. So just the people at the event, like that's a lot of people, and you think like, I don't know, where's all the money going?
Yeah, you have a great point there. We all think the same thing, man, because they're making a lot of fucking money, and they're not putting a whole lot of it into the purse. So we're the little circus animals that we are.
Yeah, I think we have the same sort of thing in the mountain bike side as well. It's just the winner of a World Cup, I think, gets $3,000 €700 or something, which is like
Oh my god.
which is like mind blowing. And obviously, again, it's the same situation. Sponsors, teams, and stuff, they pay them good money. But that's kind of not the point. It's like you shouldn't have to rely on the sponsors to be funding a sport that's, I don't know, in my opinion, and especially a sport like moto that's also so dangerous, like super high risk, like it. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. And then you,
Like, can we at least get health insurance?
yeah.
Like, come on. I feel like that's at least get us some fucking health insurance if we're gonna race, man. Like, that has changed though. Like, you didn't have to show proof of even having health insurance when you race. Now, before we sign up, we have to have like proof that we do have health insurance, which I guess is good. But I think they could get it for us. That'd be kind of nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be. I don't know. It's just crazy. Like it seems. Then you got sports that are, tennis, soccer, golf, like, and I mean, they're fantastic athletes, but like the risk, you can get injured, sure, but the risk for injury is so much lower, and
Oh
the
yeah.
money in the sport is so much more.
Yeah, I've never seen a golfer ended up having his ankle wrapped 180
Oh man,
from swinging too hard, you know?
like honestly, I and I'm obviously a bit biased because I've been doing this, a similar type of sport. But these sports like motocross, supercross, like whether you're doing like X Games, mountain biking, whatever, the to be at the top, like, or to make it to the top of the sport, I think is hard, even though there's maybe a smaller field, like there's not as many people doing it. To get to the top and stay at the top of the sport, is insanely hard given the variables that you have, like, and the risk involved. Because you've got other sports, obviously you have to be really good, whether you're playing football or whatever, you got to be really good. But then you throw in the amount of things that can go wrong, like the mud, when you've got a mud race and you've got like Mother Nature and the bike can break on you, and you've got all these things to play into it, and the risk of getting hurt and injury, and you've got to be super fit, and you've got to have all the mental side that all the other athletes have. I think I don't know, I feel like it's pretty crazy what the guys have been able to do, in these types of sports.
I agree. Definitely wish we was getting paid like some athletes in some other sports. Obviously, our numbers are not the same, but be always nice to get a little bit more. We deserve it.
Well, at least SMX, I think, like the World Supercross and stuff, and that maybe put a bit of pressure on them, and that's why they did the whole SMX thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah, for sure. That's why.
but yeah, that also adds just more races to the series, which is maybe not what the guys need.
The SMX thing is pretty cool though. That's a lot of purse money they're giving away, which is a step in the right direction. That's for damn sure. But it's definitely tough to make it into that SMX.
I feel
for
like
sure.
someone who has done it right is the Deegans. What's your take on them as a family and Hayden as a rider?
I think Hayden's cool. I mean, I know him a little bit, but I personally think it's kind of a little bit of an act.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's actually a nice kid. He's just kind of, it's marketable, whether you like it or not. They're talking about what he says on the podium or the little shit talking that he does, and I don't know. I'm here for it. The kid backs it up too. It's pretty good. He's my pick for the 250 outdoor championship. That's for sure.
There's a lot of people talking about it, and I think that's the point. I'll be honest, like, I'm not a fan of someone that's arrogant and that's, like the image that Hayden is portraying. But at the same time, I can understand why someone would do something like that, because it gets you out there and people are talking about it. And what do they say? Any publicity is good publicity. And that's kind of part of the whole thing. And obviously he's an insane rider as well. So, if he was going around getting last place, then that wouldn't really work. But yeah, it is. I don't know, like, it's just crazy. And you've got other riders that are so sort of humble and yet, I don't know. It's different mindsets, I guess, that work for different people.
Definitely. To each their own. Some people love what he does and some don't.
Didn't Cooper Webb also do stuff like that as well? Like kind of like smack talking and a bit of that sort of thing?
A little bit. He does it. It's cool. You gotta respect Webb for doing it. I think it's cool. Anything he's trying to do to get in these guys' head just a little bit. Whether it be the little finger gun he does after the race, or what he was rocking the baby because he's daddy, or whatever he did. But I think that stuff's funny.
What do you think it's going to be like when Hayden goes up to the 450s and takes on the likes of Jet and stuff? Like, because I've heard a few controversial statements from Hayden.
Yeah, I don't. It's gonna be entertaining, that's for sure. I mean, I think the kid's gonna be good. I mean, he's pretty much winning everything right now. I'll tell you who's gonna be good too is that Cole Davies.
Yeah,
he's gonna be. I mean, his rookie season is better than any rookie season. I think maybe ever. Better than Deegan. Better than Jet. Better than. The kid's gonna be legit. That's for sure.
Yeah, he won what 3 main events? I think he won 3.
2 or 3.
Or
2 or 3. Yeah.
Or was
Not
he
4?
Or was he going to win 3? I can't remember because he got taken up by Hayden.
He led. I think he led the most laps out of any 250 guy this season. Kid's legit.
I don't know what
he
it
rides
is.
just like Jet does, like super effortlessly, and he's so good in the whoops.
Do you like and in the like off the track, like you've obviously between the likes of obviously Jet's got a huge fan base, and then you've got like Hayden with his whole like YouTube and all that. Like, what is that like? Like, because obviously I've never been to a Supercross, so I don't really have a comparison of what it's like in the pits, but like I've just from what I've heard, it just sounds like ridiculous.
It's wild. I never really hang out around over there. We're never pitted near them, but I mean, I watch some of his vlogs and stuff. I'm also good friends with Brett Duff, his mechanic, and it's insane. His fan base is, I think, like nothing the sport has ever seen. Building in the YouTube thing, and they got it figured out. That's for sure. Whether you like it or not, they're making a lot of money off what they're doing.
When we were always and like with, I feel like Hayden is that we were always talking about the styles now of the Jet Lawrences and the Sextons, whatever, and everyone being so perfect on the bike. But I feel like Hayden also brings back a little of that old school vibe. Maybe a little bit like Tomac in a way, like also a little bit loose and wild on the bike.
Yeah, I could see that. Tomac, a little bit of Ricky Carmichael maybe in him. A little Stu, but yeah, it's sick to see. It's sick to watch that kid ride because he puts his heart and soul into every time he touches that track. That's for sure.
It's cool to see as well because he actually didn't have to do it. Like, I think the family was obviously pretty comfortable already. Like, so
yeah,
he's clearly doing this because he wants to do it, and not there's no like. I mean, obviously he'll make more money doing it, but he's not like he's backed to a corner that he has to do it.
For sure. I think that's cool because the kid's in shape. Kid works his ass off. Obviously, you can't be winning main events, and if you're not, but yeah, you got to respect that for sure.
What does the next few months look like on your side of the world now?
Oh man. Well, before I got on the call with you, I'm starting to detail my boat out there. I haven't been on the boat in a while, so as soon as I end this call, I'm gonna go out there and clean that thing up and yeah, hopefully hit the water this weekend for the first time. But yeah, dude, I want to ride a lot this summer. I want to ride a lot more than I did last summer, kind of keep my base strong, and come October 1st, head back down to Florida, and I want to have a good year next year. But yeah, summer will be fun. I'm excited. Summer here is pretty cool. We live like 2 miles from Lake Erie, which is a big lake over here. And yeah, I need my time. I need my time to have some fun.
Have you ever been over to Europe or to Germany? You should come and make a trip.
Yeah. The owner of Backyard Designs Graphics, they sponsor me. Yeah. He lives in Germany, and he has like a nice wakeboarding boat over there on the lake, and he wants me to come over there this summer. So who knows? Maybe we'll see you over in Germany this summer.
You should come over. It'll be cool. It's like such a different world. Like I was just in, obviously I mentioned I was in Tennessee for like a week, and
Why were you there?
I was there to film with Aaron Gwynn.
Oh, sick.
So yeah, I was there for first week of May. I was there. So just
nice.
like not too long. And yeah, we got to head up to Nashville for a day, and stuff. But it's just like crazy how different life is on that side of the world compared to Europe. And also I've been to like the Ohio area, like Chicago, New York, Florida, and then going to Tennessee, like that was like so different to like everywhere else that I've been. It was like watching the movies, which is, America's crazy because it's one country, but it's almost like every state is its own country.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You ever been to Florida?
I went to Miami, but yeah, we were just there for like 3 days, so not exactly. Didn't get to see that much, just more or less around the city and a kind of typical tourist spots.
Yeah, that's cool.
But
I like Florida.
yeah,
Not so
and
much
also,
Miami.
I'm sure that the East Coast is also totally different to that side of the world as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool places here.
And next year, do you know like yet what your plans are yet, or like same sort of deal, same sort of setup?
I hope so. I hope we can kind of keep the same deals locked in, and yeah, like I said, I want to work my butt off for next year. I want to have a good year. This year was kind of my building year, and next year we'll need to send it a little bit more, get in some of those main events. I think I can do it.
What's like ultimate kind of, I mean, obviously everyone starts, they want to win. Like for you now, like what would be like the ultimate kind of goal for the season?
Just to try to get in as many main events as possible. I mean, get it in the main events and try to kick some butt in those too. But man, just getting in those main events is huge for me.
And you ever think about doing any outdoors? Just like
No.
not a season, but like just like a one-off, or not really?
No, I've actually never even done one. I've been pro for this long.
Really?
I've never
No
even
way.
lined up. No. All right. Here's my theory on it. For one, I'm not as good at it. Two, it's a lot more money to go racing, especially if you're on a 250, because you're damn near going to blow your bike up every single weekend. Three, the payout is shit. It is so horrible compared to Supercross. Four, sponsors could give two shits about outdoors compared to Supercross. And five, it would interrupt my boating season, man. I don't know if I can do that. No, I want to go to some this year. I have a bunch of buddies racing them, so I'm probably going to go and just hang out at a couple of them. There's a couple, like Redbud's only about 3.5 hours from here. High Point's about 2.5 hours. So go hang out, film some stuff, be goofy. But yeah, no, definitely not though. I don't think. There's some like little like local money races and stuff around here, like little fair races and stuff that'll get like some a couple grand to win or something. I like doing some of those throughout the summertime. I make more money doing those than I would going to Redbud, but
what's and have you given any thoughts to what you're going to do next when you decide to hang up the boots?
Not 100%. I want to buy some property though. I want to buy some property and sit on that, and eventually hopefully build a house here in Ohio, and I'd ideally like to have a little spot down in Florida too, like a little condo down there.
Mm-hmm.
But to say if I know what I'm going to do with the rest of my life, sure do not.
That is the big question, isn't it?
Yeah. But right now life's pretty cool. I don't know. I've never been like a big planner when it comes to stuff like that, which I know it's stupid. I should be planning kind of more ahead, but like I always book hotels last second. I book flights last second, and I don't know. I'm just not a big planner. I don't want to know what I'm doing tomorrow.
I mean, is there anything? I mean, you kind of went about this whole thing quite differently than a lot of races do. Didn't go that kind of typical route. Is there anything that you would have changed or kind of regret that from your career?
I really don't think so. I mean, if you would have told me when I was 14 or 15 that I would kind of be able to build the name that I am today and make money racing dirt bikes for 10 years and have a hell of a time doing it, I think I'd be pretty stoked on that. Obviously, everybody wants to do a little bit better throughout their career, but I mean, I've had some very good years. I've gotten top 10 in 250 East Coast Supercross in the points. That was a big one for me. I've qualified for East West shootouts. I've made a lot of 450 main events. I think I've made upwards of like 30 something 250 main events. Like, I don't know, man. I'm pretty stoked at my career, actually, how it all came about.
Dude, there's one more question that I'll ask every guest. What does success mean to you?
I've never been somebody that thinks like you need to have a ton of money to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
I think, dude, just being like genuinely happy, I think is cool. I think that's success. I don't know. That's kind of a stupid answer, but just to be happy, dude. Just be happy with life. Wake up every day and just be stoked on life. And I don't know. I think that's success.
I agree. Dude, this is thanks so much, man. This has been it's been rad catching up, and it was a cool chat.
It's been a minute, dude. Hell yeah. I appreciate you having me on.
If you guys enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to like and subscribe and drop a comment and let me know which guests you want to see, and I will do my best to get them on. And to see more episodes, click the playlist right up here.
That was iconic.